Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we have a match tier list that ratings, whatever you want to call it. We had two major events yesterday, so we're gonna run them down here. We got AEW, and then we also had the Stardom event. So the Stardom video will also be up today, and I'm probably for the rest of this year, which is not much because it's basically 29th. I'm gonna have double uploads just because of like the amount of videos that need to be pumped out for the end of the year stuff. So yeah, let's just jump into this one. I think overall, this was a pretty like hyped up crowd, like and hyped up card, but we'll see how it shakes out. So we'll go. They're in pretty much order right here. So we had the Continental Classic semifinals. Now I'm not a big fan of that. Like where it's like you have the finals or like the semifinals and then the finals at the end of the show because it's like it kind of feels like that's just a little bit too much stuff going on, and I kind of felt it in this one. But I think overall, I think as we'll see how the ratings go, I think it was pretty decent idea. So we'll go with the Will Ospreay Kyle Fletcher match. Obviously, they have bad blood between each other, and yeah, there was just a ton of blood in this match because of it. I'm gonna be honest, like when I rate stuff, it's always gonna be kind of a negative when it's just blood for blood. Like there's got to be some type of purpose, and there definitely didn't feel like this. Even though like they did have a deep rivalry, it just didn't seem like they needed that much craziness with knowing that Will Ospreay was gonna have two matches because Ospreay won. I think overall it was a good match. I don't think I'd ever watch it again, so I put it in B. I'm not a big fan of all that gushing blood. I can still at least put it in up in the B categories because it was a solid match. Next up, we have Okada versus Ricochet. I do feel like this one was a little bit better pairing. Okada definitely works really well when he has like a good high flyer with him. Like he has some decent move set to show off both him and the high flyer type person. So I think overall, I would say this is an A match. It wasn't anything too crazy. Not a match that I'd ever want to watch again probably, but like it was really good. Like it was just not my thing necessarily because knowing that it was going to be held back just a little because both of these men were going to have to wrestle again, I think kind of made the match a little bit less. Then we have the Tiana street fight match, which is Thunder Rosa versus Marissa May. This one is just weird because it felt like there's no build to it because obviously Marissa May has like her match against Mina Shirakawa towards like the middle of the month, and it's just like that's what the match is. So like this is just not had that feel. So there wasn't really much of like what was on the line because it didn't feel like there was much of anything. They had some decent spots. I like the pinata opening up with the thumbtacks in it. I think overall it was a pretty solid match, but it didn't be. I don't think it was anything too bad. I just don't like the way the AEW is. This is the women's championship match. Why is it third on the card when the mid card title is so much higher up? Now, to be fair, I when we get to the rating, it might be different if the match was better, but it just feels like they just kind of have a second thought, and like this felt like a second thought feud compared to the rest of these cards matches had like at least a little stake in it. Then we had MGF versus not Michael Cole, Adam Cole, for the diamond ring or the gold ring. That was like I don't know, that kind of felt out of the way, like out of the place. I guess like I'm not that close into AEW, but it just felt like kind of something random that they already put into like speculations. Or it's the AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring. Um, Kind of a weird thing, but I guess like if they always have it on this pay per view that they defended. I don't really know. I think overall the match was just just normal. I think like they weren't going to go too crazy into it because I think Adam Cole, he's had a couple matches, but like he still had that really nasty ankle injury. I think they had some decent spots. I mean, I like the feud. It kind of cooled off when they were both hurt, but it was okay. And then you had the Undisputed Kingdom coming down to save him. Uh, I didn't really care. Oh my god, random sound. Oh my, that was so out of the blue. Oh god, sorry. I had the end of the Stardom match, and all of a sudden it was just like 2 seconds, and they were just like, bam. They wanted to tell me something. I guess I don't know. The show's over. Oh, good, cool. So MGF, Adam Cole again, middle of the road to me. I don't think it was even too bad. I feel like the feud was a little too cool when it should have, hopefully, it would have been better when it's revealed as the devil. And I think they just kind of like dropped that, and it kind of just makes the whole thing feel a little weird. Then we have the AEW International Championship match. Another just one of those matches that the I think this one at least like the two people meshed really well together. I think the match was overall pretty good. I feel like both of them have like really good solid chemistry. Like Powerhouse Hobbs, we don't always get to see that much, but I think he definitely turned out here and showed why he should be up in this like main event mid card area anywhere near a title he should be. And I think yeah, I mean obviously Takeshita has been a great champion. I really like him. He's one of probably my favorite wrestlers in AEW. So I'll put him in A. It was a good match. I mean, it's just that's the only problem I have with like AEW. A lot of the times they're good matches, but I just can't really pull the trigger sometimes on like the S's and stuff because it's just like it's a good match, but like I didn't feel invested because there's no story involved. And when you do have a story match, then the match itself then doesn't feel like it. So then we have Mercedes Money versus Chris Statlander. I'm a big Chris Statlander fan. I think overall, I liked the match. I thought it was a pretty good Mercedes Money match. She's had a grab bag, honestly, with her title. Some of them been great, some of them been okay, some of them been really really bad. So I would say overall, to me, this was towards the top of being a little bit better. This would be her 11th title defense. I've thought about doing a video on like her 10 title defenses, but it's a little rough now to at the end of the year. I'm trying to crank these videos out, so I don't know if I'll have time for that one. But I think overall it was still a B match. I don't think there's anything too special about it. I just feel like they both went out there and did a good job. And that's the thing with AEW. Like, this is a solid card. If you look at the B matches, I think the problem with it, at least to me, is it's way too long. Because if you watch the pre-show, which pre-show matches were okay, nothing special to me, but it's just like then you go into this and having all of these matches on the card and then been a lot of them just being like they're good but nothing that I'm going to remember, and that's what it is. Like sometimes I can like I remember watching the match, I know who won, I know a lot of the stuff, but then there's not much else that I could think of to put into it. So B it is. Next up is the Continental Classic Finals. I guess what the winner of this faces the winner of the AEW champion at some point. Um, they picked a really good pair. I honestly, out of this, it should have easily been Osprey versus Okada. They've had a long history together. They said like they already had this is their 11th match together, and it definitely shows. They go out there and did absolutely great. I believe it was match of the night. Still put it in A. Again, I think like if you would have just gave these guys 30 to 40 minutes with not having a match before that, it could have easily been an S tier match. They were gassed to a certain extent, and they had to pull up the angle that Will Ospreay was way more gassed, and it's just like, why? Just let him go out there and cook. We could have just had a good cook match, and it would have been great, but they had to pull that angle, so I'm gonna have to go an A on that one. Then we had the Fatal Four Way for the AEW Championship. I'm gonna be honest, I just was not invested in this match. I watched it, and it was there. I don't think it was necessarily the worst match I've ever seen. It definitely wasn't the best match I've ever seen. It was just a match. I mean, you had a lot of good guys in this match, so I kind of had high expectations of it. Jay White always puts on a good show. Hangman Adam Page always does. Moxley's pretty solid, and Orange Cassidy does his thing out there. And it just kind of felt like it was just a match. Obviously, at the end of the match, I also want to kind of put it in here because it's kind of part of the thing is Adam Colton came back with FTR. It looks like they're going to be like a faction or something to maybe stand up against the Death Riders, which I'll be down for. And we saw Christian Cage in the thing with the contract. I think they started cooking, but this felt like this was the stepping stone for the better match. So I think that definitely could be told through the match and through what the ending was, because it's trying to show what the year is to come. And honestly, I'm a little invested. I like it. I think everything was solid with that. Again, this match I would put in B. And that's what the card looks like. Overall, card, I would say, is also just a B. I think they definitely dropped the ball on certain things, and they definitely could have done a little bit better. on certain areas. I definitely think the number one easiest thing to make this card a lot better was to get rid of these two semifinal matches, have them right before this, and just have the final here. I think that would have been a lot more solid and probably easily would have pushed this match to S tier. Oh yeah, Kenny Omega also came back during this, so that on top of it would have pushed it to S for sure. I can almost guarantee you that would have been an S tier match. And I think if they would have allowed maybe I know they had Darby Allin taken out during the storyline. I think if they would have made him part of this, that could have also helped a lot with the spots. But there wasn't much saving it. I didn't really feel super hyped for this one. I didn't even get to do a prediction video because it kind of sprung on me. And yeah, I think this is where I'll leave it. And the Stardom one will also be up today. So if you saw the Stardom one, go check that out. And yeah, I'm gonna try to do double videos for the rest of this year, and yeah, daily videos after that. So if you like this stuff, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, guys.